Once you understand the way the system works, you're going to see that religion, politics, government, the entire social structure in the Western world is a very corrupt system. Okay? But I believe that the original country called America, the concept as filled with imperfections as it was and still is, I believe that America offers the greatest single potential for freedom the world has ever known. But I think now we have something called consensus reality. Means that we have laws and regulations over us. They're not laws. Where is the law that says I have to do this or that? Where is the law that says I have to do that? They're not there at all. Go back in the law book and find it. Find the law that says I have to do this. It's not there. We have come to accept things because everybody else accepts it. Well, I don't accept any of it. I don't accept the religious foundation, the political, none of the rest of it. You can expatriate out of the United States corporate system and then repatriate into the American system, and you get the paperwork right from Washington, D.C. saying you are now an American citizen. You are no longer considered by law a United States citizen. Look, do you remember in the Wild West when the guys would ride into town and they're carrying their guns on their hips, and they go into the bar and they have a few drinks, and then they have a few words with another guy at the other end of the bar, and they say, hey, if you can't handle it, let's go outside. And they stand against each other in the street with the women and children and everybody standing there, and they draw on each other. When the sheriff would come out to the guy's ranch, remember in the movies, the old guy would come out on the porch with the shotgun, and he cocked the shotgun and said, that's far enough, Sheriff, don't come any further. What do you want here on my property? And the sheriff would always say, no, we're just coming out here to talk to you. Remember? How come? How come you could walk out with a shotgun, cock it, and say, hey, you stop there. Don't you come on my property. All right? And you can walk into a bar with your gun on your hip. And if a guy gives you any mouth, you go out in the street and take care of it right then and there. Why? It's because you were a sovereign. You were not a United States citizen, but you were an American citizen. And as an American citizen, the law says you are an absolute sovereign. And that's the way it was when this country was founded. You can carry a gun, you protect your home with a shotgun or a rifle, and you were a free man. It was only until 1868 that they done slipped this corporation in on us and got our birth certificates because you came down your birth canal, and consequently you are a maritime admiralty product because you came out of your mother's water. You need to wake up and find out it's very, very simple. They just didn't tell you. It's like anything else. It's up here. Knowledge is power. You cannot be subpoenaed to a court. No courts in this country apply to you because there are no courts for American citizens. All courts are for United States citizens. Consequently, this is a whole new concept, and actually it's based on the way the country was founded. And the real truth about who's running this planet, who owns us, how they're manipulating, financing governments, religions, wars, all of this stuff. I'm telling you, if you're going to save yourself and this country, and I love the concept of freedom, I would much prefer standing on my feet and dying on my feet than crawling on my knees to somebody who thinks they own me. Because nobody owns me. You need to stand up and start making your own decisions and don't buy the crap that's coming across in media, and understand that there's some very powerful people in this world behind the scenes that are manipulating through stealth and guile, through money, through manipulation, blackmail. They are manipulating our country. And I want to expose these people. They're traitors to my country. And Thomas Jefferson said, anyone who expects to be free and ignorant expects something that's never been and never will be. Because the people that are running this country are nothing but lousy criminals. I don't have a dime for British royalty or any of the traitors in this country who have thrown in with our masters. That this is now a time for people to wake up. No man-made God is going to help any of us. We're going to stand on our feet as Americans, start doing your homework, and start standing up for what is right. And if there's anything in this world that I absolutely abhor, way down deep, is anybody telling me about the law. Whose law? Where does it come from? Show it to me. Well, the policeman represents the law. Where do you get that authority? Oh, well, from the state. Where'd the state get it? Well, they got it from the federal government. Where'd the federal government get it from? Well, I mean, they got it because somebody has to be in charge. Well, somebody's got to be in charge. I think I'm going to be in charge of me. I'll be in charge of me, and I'll be my own law. Okay? And if you live like that, then you begin to appreciate other people, because you don't need someone to teach you what is right and wrong. My God, if you need to be counseled as to what is right and wrong, you've got some serious problems. Most people already know what's right and wrong. They do it anyway, but they know it's wrong. The way this country was founded, each individual that came to this country was coming to a country for absolute sovereign freedom. America reverberated around the world to bring freedom to the human family. And because of that, you could wear your own gun. You could do what you want. You could go where you please. You don't get any license. A license implies that you are under the domination of a power. As an American, I'm not under the domination of anybody's power. I live my own life. And what your family's done is irrelevant. It's what you do before God and man. It's what you do. Who are you? And this is what the basis of America was. The individual responsibility that says you are sovereign. Nobody tells me what I can do. I don't get a license from nobody to do nothing. I don't pay your taxes. I don't crawl on my knees. I don't act like an animal crawling in front of you because you are a righteous or you are royalty. There is no such a thing as royalty. You better look at this whole concept of a divine right of kings. This whole thing going on in England with the divine right of kings, with this holy bloodline. In America, we don't have any of that silly nonsense. In America, the way it was formed, as I said yesterday, you got a falling out with a guy in the bar and you're carrying a gun and he's carrying a gun. You don't need a divine right of kings. We're out in the street. We take care of it right now. Why? Because you don't mess with me. I'm an American. I'm not crawling on my knees to some queen. The most racist, filthiest, dirty bunch of liars the world has ever had to encounter is British royalty. They have taken America's freedom. They have robbed us of our birthright. They have lied to us. The Vatican has made common cause and contractual arrangements with the King of England to rape the world. And I am telling you that if America is not saved, there will be no freedom on the earth. America's freedom was heard round the world because Americans can put guns on their hips and say, no man messes with my wife and my children or my country, period. You don't like it? You get a weapon. I want you out of this country. And that's what made America great all over the world. People respected a man that has had enough and says, don't come on my property. And don't mess with my property, my wife, or anything I own, or I'm going to deal with you. And I got a gun here that says I'm going to. Now, what are you going to do about it? That's what made America great, is the freedom to respect each other, but to defend your rights as a creature of God created for freedom. And I will tell you, all of the trash you are experiencing right now in this system is caused by the Jesuits, the Catholic Church, and especially British royalty. There is a conspiracy, and you can bet on it. Remember, the people that we Americans fought on the field of battle to get our freedom, who were the redcoats? Who were the enemies of the founding of this country if it wasn't the British royalty? Who was it we were fighting if it wasn't the British royalty? And they have come back, and they got a score to settle. They know we are a fierce and angry people in America and not to be messed with. So now they come back and done it a different way. They kind of made it a law. And you have the law, and the law says you can't do this, and the law says you can't do that. I say to hell with your law. I'm an American, and I don't goddamn appreciate you telling me what I can do in my country on my home territory. I don't respect your law. I'm an American, and I'm tired of people crawling on their knees to the Queen of England, to the Pope in Rome, and to religion, and to government. I've had enough of all of them. As far as I'm concerned, it is now time for people to wake up and take back your freedom. You're an American. You're not a slave.